world's greatest stretch first before we do the pigeon, okay? So let's get into a high plank position. Just kind of settle in here. We can do a quick little roll around our shoulders, get our wrist a little bit more loosened up. Take big giant circles one direction, maybe 5. Really push the corners of that wrist. And then do 5 in the other direction. Once you get 5, we're going to bring one leg up. I start with my left all the time, just a habit. Bring that left leg to your right hand. Drop the hips down, lift the chest up. Then you can do some giant circles with that hip now. Try to keep that back leg straight. Chest up, hips low. And then take that left hand, rotate elbow to the floor if you can. I don't have much range of motion today. My legs are tight, but do what you can. And then exhale up and around over. Get that thoracic spine and drop down 2 more times. Elbow to the ground. Exhale up and around. Last one. Then put that hand on the outside of that foot. Then push all your weight to that back leg now. So that front leg is straight. And then think about what your hip does. The hip's a ball and socket joint. So then move that hip. Dig around all the corners of it. Try to dig around, figure out where you need more stretching, hamstrings. Bring those toes up off the ground. Feel the hamstrings and calves. Good morning. Feeling it? Good stuff. They're there. Bring that back leg up to the front leg. Fold over at your waist. Just let your head hang, let that back open up, lower back especially. Few deep breaths and then bring that left leg back to a kneeling position. And you can do the same thing on that right side. Big giant circles with that hip. Try to keep that back leg straight. Left and right?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
That's the one that gives me the issue.
And pay attention to this as well, really. I don't know if you feel a difference left and right.
I don't think we have.
Yeah.
When that front leg is straight, that's when I feel it.
Your right hamstring, right? Right glute. Now take that right hand, bring the elbow, rotate the upper body, elbow to the ground if you can, or at least try. And then exhale up and around, open up that thoracic spine. And then 2 more times. Inhale on the way down. Exhale on the way up. Press that bottom hand into the floor. Open up that chest 1 more time, elbow to the ground. And then exhale up and around. And then straighten that front leg. Put all the weight in the back leg. Folding over at your waist. The front leg is straight. Give a little swivel left and right. See if you can dig around and find the corners of the hamstring that might need some love. Find the funk. There you go.
You do a wordle with all your Anthony.
Bring those toes up off the ground. Feel the calves. Good morning. Bend that back leg. Put weight on the back leg. Front leg is straight. And then do a little swivel with that. With those toes up off the ground.
See, this side I can't even get my hands down on the ground. It's straight. It's just
So I would do a foam roll. If a light stretch like this isn't opening it up, I would do some foam rolling. And guys, bring your feet back to center, fold over at your waist. Let your head hang for a second. Take a few deep breaths and then roll up 1 vertebrae at a time to a standing position.
Nice flow.
Feels good, right?
yoga.
It's like broga. Alright, good stuff. Now if you want, you can do your pigeon stretch, which is really simple stuff. Oh. switch sides, go into that down dog or pike position, whatever you want to call it. And then bring the other leg in, get those hamstrings and actually more so glutes with this, lower back. We are doing deadlifts today, so we want to make sure those hips are nice and loose. Your 4 exercises, your meat and potato, so to speak, is your deadlift today. That's your strength exercise. Okay? Obviously, it's one of my top favorite, and I've talked about it numerous times. But all these 3 exercises are stacked to get you to prepare yourself for deadlift and just get kind of like deconstructing the deadlift. The first one is going to be your. This is like work for my OCD here. This is 44 pounds. This is 45.
Oh. Is that the one?
Yeah. Pay attention to that. So make sure you grab the same kettlebells. Anyway, the first one is setting your traps up. It's setting your shoulders up, and it's also getting you prepared for your grip strength. Because obviously you're grabbing the deadlift, or in the deadlift you're using your grip strength a lot, right? So this is getting your traps. Traps actually elevate the shoulder, and they depress the shoulder, right? So they're responsible for both. They also pull the shoulders back. Traps are responsible for rotating the shoulders back. We talk about posture all the time in here, right? So what are you going to do with the farmer's hold? You're going to rotate your shoulders back and just let them sit there in that good, strong posture position. Squeeze your glutes, keep the trunk nice and tight, keep your head neutral, and that's all you're doing. Sounds simple. Next up, your 20-second partial is going to be a dead squat. So it's not a deadlift and it's not a full squat. It is in between. We call it a dead squat. Keeping the shoulders back. Pay attention to this because I'm going to go through it a couple hundred times today for deadlifts. Rotating back. Okay, here, hips are low, half up, down, down. It's the whole movement. Okay, you're doing that for 20 seconds. That's your partial. And then you're heading into your deadlift, which is your strength component. What are the 3 things I'm looking for? Top 3 things.
Shoulders, keeping that.
We're going to put that
Like
in.
rotating.
We're going to put that in flat back.
Fuck that, because I can
Absolutely, because if you're here, right, you want to keep that back flat. In order to keep that back flat, you're going to have to keep this back, right? So that's why I put it in that category. That's great though. You'll see me every time I do a deadlift, every time. So I'm actually pulling my shoulders forward, and then I'm rotating them back, and I really want to feel them lock up. Your hands aren't going to break the bar, obviously, right? But when you have a nice strong grip, you can kind of be like mobile with those shoulders. So here, my lats are engaged right now, right? So I'm fired up. So now I can use all that power in my hips, right? My hips are going to be stronger than my upper body. But if I don't pay attention to my grip, and I don't pay attention to my lats, and I just work on my hip strength, I'm doing this kind of hunchback and my back doesn't stay flat, okay?
Yeah.
Number 1.
Keeping the bar close to you.
Yes. Keeping the bar close to you. When you look down, that bar should be in the middle of your toes. I'm sorry, yeah, middle of your feet, right? So that line should be here. Shouldn't be out here. You don't want to grab that bar when it's way out here. Number 1, not good for your lower back. Number 2, you're not able to keep a flat back, right? So snugged up to your body. Now hip hinge. That's it. It's not a squat. That's the 3rd thing.
Okay.
It's not a squat when you're so low. It's here. So think about folding up at the waist. Right? But the biggest thing is making sure those shoulders are locked up. Now you can use that power. At the top, squeeze your glutes. Get a little glute squeeze. Okay? And way back down. Nice and controlled. Reset. And again, it's strength and power. So reset in between each. Your first exercise is going to be a kneeling pullover. So squeeze your glutes. Tuck underneath. Keep that trunk nice and tight. Kettlebell you can grab by the horns. Let that bottom bell go all the way down. Get a good stretch in your lats. Pull over. Once you get to this point, you want to think about pulling your elbows back, proud chest. Right? What I see a lot is this forward momentum. It just kind of carries through. But you don't want to do that. As you get halfway through, start thinking about pulling those elbows back and activating your upper back and lats. 7 of those. Next up, sumo deadlift. Nice exaggerated stance. Still hinging from the waist. Still rotating the shoulders back. You're pulling from your upper back. Those are going to get spicy for sure. So that's Anywhere from 6 to 8, plus 6 to 8 each time. Okay? Your third one, probably use a kettlebell for that elevated glute bridge.
I was thinking a
Band.
band. Like our band.
Yeah, you want to get one? You can definitely use one, absolutely. But here, kettlebell, I mean, you're probably going to use something bigger, medicine ball, but demonstration purposes, just giving you a little bit of elevation so you can get more range of motion out of those glutes, right? These are what's working. So make sure you're squeezing at the top. I'm going to put 10 to 12 in there as a range. Okay. You guys figure out where you need to go with that. And that last exercise, spin myself around here. Whoa, nice. It's going to be a lying leg raise here with a little poke or pike, so to speak. That last little bit, that last inch is going to get really, that's where the magic happens. It'll get spicy. Anywhere from 5 to 7, plus 5 to 7 each round.